The practice of laboratory safety should come naturally and become second nature to laboratory users. You are accountable for your safety as well as the safety of others. Laboratory accidents can be avoided with caution and adherence to safety procedures. Even if you don't often utilize the equipment in your lab, it is still crucial to know how it works and how it is maintained. Learning the ins and outs of the lab you're working in, and also sticking by the rules of safety, will help reduce and eliminate potential danger. Even though laboratories are built with safety in mind, mishaps still occur, so it is important to be ready for anything. Many workers are unaware of the potential hazards of their work environment, which makes them more vulnerable to injury. We will now periodically go through the occupational hazards associated with laboratories. Biohazards, also known as biological hazards, are any biological substance that endanger or pose risks to the health of living things. It is the duty of employers to assist in educating employees about the various biological hazards, the risks that are connected to them, and how to prevent exposure to thorough risk assessment and management. Biohazards are caused by biotoxins that are further divided into categories such as bacteria, viruses, parasites, and mold or fungi. These biotoxins can be found in laboratory samples obtained from environmental specimens, which may be present in plant, soil, or water samples. Next are chemical hazards. The chemicals can enter the body through several ways, such as inhalation, absorption through the skin or eyes, ingestion, or through cuts or open wounds. Chemical poisoning from chemical hazards can result in harmful health effects, such as headaches, nausea, skin irritation, injury to the nervous system, organ damage, and also cancer. It is important to remember that even a small amount of a type of chemical can cause serious harm to human health, regardless of whether it is natural or man-made. Chemical hazards can be prevented or controlled by ensuring chemical containers and measuring tools are labeled correctly. Do not throw waste of chemicals inside the sink. Ensure all personal protective equipment is in good working condition. Don't bring food into the workplace. The laboratory is not an ideal place to be eating. And lastly, do not carry out willful or reckless acts that could endanger the health and safety of yourself or others. The last hazard discussed will be physical hazards. Laboratory workers are at risk for repetitive motion injuries during routine laboratory procedures such as pipetting or standing and working in awkward positions. Repetitive motion injuries develop over time and occur when muscles and joints are stressed. A solution will be familiarizing oneself with ways to control laboratory ergonomic-related risk factors. By doing so, workers reduce chance for occupational injuries while improving comfort, productivity, and job satisfaction. The first step that can be taken by workers is to avoid working for a long period of time and to remember to take breaks. As a worker, it is important to know your rights. You have the right to speak up about safety concerns without the fear of retaliation. The federal law entitles employees to a safe workplace. Your employer must keep your workplace free of known health and safety hazards. You have the right to speak up about hazards without the fear of retaliation. You have the right to receive workplace safety and health training in the language you understand. Work on machines that are safe. Receive required safety equipment. Be protected from toxic chemicals. Request an OSHA inspection and speak to an inspector. Review an injury or illness and get copies of your medical records. Review records of work-related injuries and illnesses. And see results of tests taken to find workplace hazards. If you believe the working conditions in your workplace is unsafe or unhealthy, you may file a confidential complaint with OSHA and ask for an inspection. If possible, tell your employer about your concern beforehand. Take note that you are protected from retaliation. It is illegal for an employer to fire, demote, transfer, or otherwise retaliate against a worker who complains to OSHA and uses their legal rights. If you believe you have been retaliated against in any way, you may file a whistleblower complaint within 30 days of an alleged retaliation.